They say abandoned churches hold secrets the living should never uncover. On a stormy hill stands St. Agatha's Convent, its windows shattered, its bell tower ruined, and its walls scarred with time. The crucifix outside lies broken in the mud, as if even faith itself had abandoned this place. Inside, one candle flickers against the cold stone walls. The silence is heavy, but not empty. Something moves in that silence, watching, waiting. It was on this night that 4 college students arrived. Maya, Daniel, Sarah, and Jacob. Flashlights in hand, they laughed nervously, each pretending not to be afraid. The massive wooden doors loomed over them, covered in vines, their iron hinges rusted. Around them, statues of saints with broken faces seemed to watch. "Come on, it's just a building," Jacob whispered, pushing on the door. It groaned open, dust spilling out like the breath of the dead. The convent swallowed them in darkness. Inside, the air was damp and cold, thick with the smell of decay and old incense. Broken pews lined the chapel like skeletons of forgotten prayers. Crucifixes lay shattered on the floor, their faces cracked. On the altar, an ancient prayer book sat torn and bloodstained. Maya leaned closer to read. "Those who trespass will kneel before her, willingly or not." As her voice faded, every candle in the chapel lit at once. Shadows danced across the walls. Somewhere deep inside the convent, something began to stir. Suddenly, the sound of bells echoed through the ruins. 1 toll, 2, 3. The group froze, staring upward. But the bell tower had collapsed decades ago. No bell remained. Yet the sound was unmistakable, vibrating through the stones beneath their feet. Sarah whispered, "That's not possible." But her words were swallowed by the deep, unholy chime. At the far end of the chapel, she appeared, a nun in black robes, standing perfectly still, her face hidden beneath a pale veil. "Hello," Daniel called, but the figure did not move. Then slowly, she raised her head. Her skin was grey, cracked like stone. Her eyes were hollow, black voids, and her mouth stretched into a grin too wide to be human. The candles flared, and the doors slammed shut behind them. The windows exploded inward, shards of coloured glass raining down like knives. Whispers rose from the walls, black smoke curling into Latin prayers. The nun crawled across the ceiling, her head twisted completely backward, her eyes locked on the group. Sarah screamed. Maya clutched her rosary. The nun's voice filled the chapel, low, thunderous, unholy. "Your prayers belong to me now." The students ran, the floor beneath them vibrating with her laughter. They fled into the tunnels beneath the convent, the damp stone walls closing around them. Water dripped from the ceiling, echoing like footsteps. Their flashlights flickered, cutting through the suffocating dark. Jacob gasped, "Our shadows, look." The shadows on the walls were moving on their own, stretching longer, bending in unnatural shapes. They didn't follow, they led, and they were leading them deeper into the darkness. Sarah stumbled and fell to her knees. Her body shook violently, her eyes rolling back before snapping open, pitch black. Black smoke seeped into her mouth, veins crawling beneath her skin. Her lips moved, whispering in a voice that wasn't hers. "She is here." Daniel grabbed her, shouting her name, but Sarah threw him back with inhuman strength. Her voice deepened, layered with something demonic. "She has chosen me." The nun's laughter filled the tunnels, echoing endlessly. Desperate, Maya remembered her grandmother's words. "Faith is not in walls, it's in the heart." She grabbed the broken crucifix from the chapel and raised it high, though her hands trembled. The nun shrieked, her form twisting, half burning in fire, half dissolving into black smoke. The convent itself bled, crimson streaks running down the walls. Statues of saints cracked, their stone faces crying black tears. The nun lunged at them, but Maya shouted her prayer with all her strength. The light from the crucifix flared. The nun screamed, her body bursting into flames and shadow, consumed in her own unholy fire. Sarah collapsed, motionless, and silence fell. Morning sunlight filtered through the shattered stained glass, painting golden dust across the chapel ruins. Police moved cautiously inside, flashlights scanning the wreckage. They found Maya, Daniel, and Jacob, shaken but alive. But Sarah was gone. On the altar lay her rosary, glowing faintly, the only trace she had ever been there. Outside, the convent stood silent under a grey, cloudy sky. But silence is not always peace. That night, passers-by swore they heard bells ringing from the convent once more. Some say they saw a nun's silhouette deep in the dark corridors, hands clasped as if in prayer. If you ever hear church bells toll at midnight from a place long abandoned, don't go inside, because not every nun serves God. Some serve something else. And when the bells stop ringing, it's already too late.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe our channel for more interesting stories.